Greetings, I'm Chevalier, and I've been welcome to Situation in Guide of Morocco. This is part 2, the expansion guide of Morocco. This is before Morocco is one of the biggest nations in the North American region, as well as they stand a decent chance of going to a new world, and they have decent capabilities of getting institutions really fast, and pretty much a safe zone if played correctly. As I said before, your premier line should be Granada and Tunis, and your premier rival should be Tlemcen, Castile, and Portugal. Your first attack should be against Tlemcen and fabricating claim on Figuig, as well as attacking Tlemcen really fast. Attack Tlemcen, then you can actually fully vassalize Tlemcen because the war score is 92%. At the same time, take Figuig and Casdir. This will allow you to attack Mazab, followed by Togut, and slowly move your way against the Memal. So talk about this later on. So while you've done this, this is gonna simply allow you to have Tlemcen as your vassal and have a decent amount of troops, somewhere around I would say the force limit of 20, and with Tlemcen troops perhaps another 7 or 8, which is gonna safeguard you both on the seas because they have the extra troops and the extra navies, as well as on land if they manage to debark on your soil. Now, followed by this, you should try to aim for possible attacks against Castile. Try to wait until you can get alliance with Aragon, or if at all possible, try to wait until Castile is at war with France or at war with Portugal, depending on who actually allies Castile. For example, Castile might ally England at this point in time because they have rivaled France as well. So they might actually ally England. With an alliance with England, they most likely are going to be called on a war against France if France gets declared war on by Castile because they want Saint-Ogy. So that means that the troops are going to be stationed here, and with the help from Aragon, Granada, Tunis if at all possible, and your own troops, the same goes for the Tlemceni troops, you're going to be able to easily debark troops into Granada and siege lands from Castile and fight off Portugal, which is going to allow you to take control of Castile. This should be your long-term goal, weakening Castile. If for another option is that Portugal might be in the same boat. For example, they are allied with Castile and with England, and these guys are at war either with Aragon or with France, and they won't join the war. Right, so you can actually attack Portugal and take their land with your superior fleet from your own and Tlemceni troops as well. Same goes for also the Grenadian troops because they want Ceuta and they want Algarve as well. So that's gonna be helpful on that side, which you can give them some lands there and they're gonna join you. So together with this amount of fleet power, you're gonna be able to slowly move troops over to Granada, then march them all the way to Portugal, to Castile, because Portugal is gonna give access to Castile. So this is gonna be your primary goal for the next 40 years, right? By your time, we're gonna talk about tertiary war goals and secondary even war goals, but this is your primary. If you have the opportunity, drop the warrior that you're doing, or end it with a favorite pistol if you need to, wait a couple of months to see something there, and just end the war and prepare the war against Castile. You're gonna have to be on the lookout for those opportunities. Once you have done this, and you have taken a full foothold into Castile, just fully conquer them. Fully taking the Iberian Peninsula should take you quite a while. I'll say between 50 to 60 years, which is gonna really launch you into the late game. I'll give you a timetable, let's say, of 70 years to conquer all of this. Depending on your luck, you might be able to weaken them severely that you won't get a PU, or Castile won't get a PU with Aragon. At the same time, Aragon might lose the PU over with Naples. Again, this kind of options there, but fighting off against Castile is gonna be troublesome. You just have to wait for the right opportunity to make it easier. Now, while you wait for this, and we're gonna continue this in the mid game, once you're gonna fabricate claims on Mazab. So when your vessel is Telemchen, you have taken Figuig and Castir, while you're at it, fabricate a claim on Mazab, and fabricate the claim Mazab, attack Mazab, then attack the Gurd, then attack Desert, then attack Fez. Fez is guaranteed by Tunis. So for you to fight off Tunis, which you're gonna eventually break your alliance with because he's just a defensive ally. Once you've taken the Gurd, just break the alliance with Tunis. This is gonna uh, get you at risk with these guys, but if at all possible, you're gonna be able to get an alliance with the Mamelukes, which is gonna safeguard you against Castile. Although the Mamelukes might be attacked by the Ottomans, so yeah, that's gonna be troublesome. So once you break the alliance with Tunis, try to ally one of the rivals, most likely Mamelukes, because they might have rivaled them. And if you do this, you're gonna be able to take lands from Tunis and move all the way up to Surat and have a border with the Mamelukes, so you can actually move against the Mamelukes. Remember that Tunis might ally the Ottomans, which means that you can have a crappy set of wars. My recommendation is just do a war, take some lands. I recommend taking Kiefe simply because they have a fort here, which is gonna be really annoying. So just take Kiefe in a war and break the alliance that they have with the Ottomans, then attack them again without the help from the Mamelukes. Then you can actually take most of their lands, if not all of their lands. Now, once you have taken care of Tunis, 2 wars are enough. But after the first war, break the alliance with the Mamelukes and try to get an alliance with the Ottomans. Then try to attack the Mamelukes as well, so you can actually move into Alexandria. This expansion, slowly to disguise it to the Mamelukes, should take you about 40 to 50 years. And this basically leads us to the 1500s, the start of the mid-game, or what I call the mid-game. By this, your own goal should be this: expansion into a new world, which you should do by my guide. Moving into Cape Verde should be quite easy. You should have control. As you can see here, you can actually reach it. Effective distance is 116, so you can reach Cape Verde. So then you can easily move into Brazil and take a huge amount of control over these regions. If you actually hit Cape Verde, these guys are not gonna be able to get here. Basically, if I show you here, they need 240 basically to get here, which is gonna be quite problematic to get unless they have the third idea or Tech 7 on Diplo there. So you're gonna stop Castile from expanding. And same goes for Portugal. So that means that you're gonna have a decent amount of lead time for you to expand into these lands. Remember that you need to take Arguin as well. If they take Arguin, it's gonna be troublesome. So try to move colonies there as well, so you can actually take Arguin as well, which is gonna stop them from expanding. Usually Castile and Portugal, if they have problems, they're not gonna expand to the new world really fast, which is quite nice on your side. Now, focusing on this side is perfect. There's nothing much more to say. Slowly focus on that side. So, the 1500s. By now, the opportunity should arise to fight off Castile, and perhaps two wars have passed with Castile, and you have taken parts of this. Let's actually be more clear and show you, let's say, an expansion plan there. First off, war against Castile, weaken Castile, take just one province there, most likely Seville, so you can actually have more base of operations and a bridgehead, and you have more trade power from this. At the same time, break their alliances that they have with whoever they have, maybe Portugal, maybe England, who knows, Austria. Break the alliance with the big guys so they can be easily attacked next time. Then break the alliance with Granada and take over Granada. At the same time, you can try to feed some lands to Granada from Castile, so you can actually take the lands from Granada in the next war. So you can actually feed Cordoba and Murcia, depending on how you want to call it. And then you can actually take Cordoba, Granada, Gibraltar, Almeria, and Murcia from them. So that's gonna be quite easily done. From Portugal, once you break the alliance with Castile, or the other way around, Castile broke the alliance with them in the peace deal. or if nobody will support them in the war because they have high war exhaustion or anything of that sort, attack Portugal and take Algarve, or just simply go ahead and take Porto. Porto and Lisboa will be their most important trade nodes here, which is going to allow you to gain a decent amount of cash. With Seville, Lisboa and Porto, you're going to gain a high amount of trade power there, which is going to give you more cash. Together with Tangiers, it's going to be excellent there. Wait, do you collect? Oh yeah, man, you collect here, my bad. I guess I fucked up. So you collect in Safi, unfortunately. That is quite annoying. Indeed, quite annoying. Yeah, my bad. I'll probably have to do a comment or anything of that sort on the first video. But yeah. So once you've done this, just move in a second war and take more lands from them, same goes for Portugal. At the same time, book the line straight to Aragon and attack Aragon as well. And in the course of a couple of years, let's say half a decade, 50 years, you should just have half of this, like all the way up to Madrid. Remember that you're gonna have DCBs from forming Al-Andalus, which is gonna give you more free reign on these regions there. So yeah, this is the expansion into this, guys. After this, and passing the mid game, just slowly expand even more with a couple of wars whenever possible, and take all of the Iberian Peninsula. By this point in time, I would say that this should be your primary war goal, and if you're a bit slower, you should probably go into the mid game with it, in the late of the mid game. Notable target after this is just revocation of claims against France and attack France. That's pretty much it. There's nothing much more to say on this side here. On this side, let's say on the southern side, it becomes more tricky. Let's say that 40 years have passed, you have finished off the Tunis, and you can move against Aragon. After you move against Aragon, you can move against Italy, and slowly bite your way into Italy and prepare an invasion after the Shadow event happened. After the Shadow Empire event happened, try to take Roma, Corsica, and move heavily into the Genoa trade node, which should be your primary trade node after a couple of wars, especially against Aragon and let's say Genoa and Provence and France as well, with some lands from Roma as well and Firenze. It's gonna be perfect. You're gonna have a decent amount of power in Genoa, which is gonna allow you to gain more cash there. This should be your primary end node, if it wasn't already very obvious. Now, they should take you 100 years, I would say, 100, 160 years, 70 years, until you take a decent chunk of control in the Genoa trade node, and slowly move here as a tertiary war goal into Italy. Now, the secondary war goal should be the Mamelukes. By the next 40 years, I'll say, so let's say the 4090s, you should be able to declare war on the Mamelukes, and Tunis should be fully annexed, right? With a couple of smart wars and breaking the lines that they have, the Ottomans should be easily killed. Now, the Ottomans should have already called you in a war, or you would have already declared war on the Mamelukes with the help of the Ottomans. This is doable. Even earlier on, if you are fast enough and you can move into a position to attack the Mamelukes earlier on. Now, for this war, try to bide your time and let the Ottomans suffer casualties. Even then, you're gonna have to give them a decent chunk of the land, or just give them one province and lose loyalty with them, or not loyalty, you lose trust. It still is fine, right? So just take all of the provinces up until you reach Alexandria or Taratana, or even take Alexandria or take Rosetta as well, so you can fabricate claims on this region here. This will allow you to have a decent amount of control in Alexandria, which is gonna allow you to switch, move trade all the way to Tunis, then to Seville or to Genoa, depending on where you have a decent amount of trade power. After you have taken all of the Mamelukes, focus on the Ottomans and the guys here in Africa, together with the guys in Arabia as well. This is gonna be part of the mid game, so there's nothing much more to talk about this. Tertiary war goals again. Parts here in Africa and the part of the expansion. I'm not gonna talk about the expansion in colonization into a new world. You have my guide for the passive expansion, which is gonna really allow you to see an in-depth analysis of how you should actually expand into a new world. At the same time, expanding to this guy should be done with a little bit of, let's say, um, come on, man. There we go. With a little bit of, thinking, basically, because you're gonna have problems with this guys because you're not part of your religion, and at the same time they're only gonna be able to become cores because they don't have that much development, so they're not that useful, and you need to basically make them into a core country. You might as well make your own culture here because you're gonna annex these guys here. Although they are decent, you're gonna slowly abandon them, especially if you move into Europe and you switch to Al-Andalus. But yeah, this is a tertiary war goal, and slowly chip at them. Remember that you don't have full control in the Seville yet, so you're not gonna be able to get a decent amount of trade power, not a decent amount of control there, maybe around 50 to 60%, and you need about 80, so you can maximize the trade power from this. So do not expand, just take some lands and stop the expansion of Portugal and Castile if they still pose a problem in moving into Africa. And this is it. Later expansion and later threats consist of Ottomans, France, Austria, England, the Timurids if they're still alive, probably not, or Persia here. These are your primary targets for the start of the late game, with more targets for attack being the guys here as well as India and Malacca, basically the expansion part, the simple expansion into India and China. At the same time here, try to form all of the colonial nations, pretty much standard stuff. Uh, Try to take hold of the Caribbean, then move into Mexico, and try to basically slowly form all of the nations so they can expand by themselves at their own pace and with their own cash. And yeah, this was the expansion guide of Morocco. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time, guys. Ciao.